Okay, find yourself a comfortable position at the top of your mat. Let your hands and arms fall wherever they feel comfortable. You can have the palms turned up, or you can have them facing down. It's entirely up to you as long as you feel comfortable. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable to do so. And we're going to take a few moments just to connect with our breath and just to let ourselves calm down from the day. So taking a breath in, really deep up into the rib cage, hold it for a second, and then let it release out. Try to breathe in and out through the nose, so breathe in. Nice deep but full, hold it for a second, and let it go. Couple more rounds there in your own time. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let the head fall over to one side, stretching down the side of the neck. If I'm turning my head, if I'm tilting my head to the right, then my left shoulder is going to stay down. And when you're ready, bring it back to the center and change direction, so opposite side. And back to the center. Do a few more in your own time. Try to work with your breath. And last one, bring your head back to the center. Now if you want to open your eyes at this point, you can. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to bring your left hand to your right knee and let the right hand come round to the back of your mat and do a twist round, looking over that right shoulder. Try to keep the body upright as we do so. Try not to lean back, don't put all the weight into that back hand. And bring yourself back to the centre. Okay, this time we're taking the right hand and placing it on the left knee, and the left hand is going to come round to the back. Again, try to keep upright, looking over that left shoulder. And bring yourself back to the centre. Bring the hands behind the head. Try not to pull on the neck, but just arch yourself forwards, bringing your head down, feeling a slight stretch in the back of the neck. And then open yourself up, stretching out the chest, letting the elbows come out wide. Do that again. So bring the elbows in, curl the body forward. Should feel a slight stretch down the back of the neck. And then lift and open out. And release off. Okay, bring the hands up, stretching out through the rib cage, so interlace the fingers, stretch up, out through the rib cage. And then stretch up and reach over to one side. And to the centre, and go the opposite way. Reach up and over to the other side. And back to the centre. Reach up again And this time we're going to bring ourselves forward. So we're going to do a forward fold over the legs. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. Don't push it because we're still just in our warming up stage. Just release off. And bring yourself back up to a seated position. Okay, when you're ready, bring yourself up onto all fours. So onto the hands and to the knees. So let the knees be about hip distance apart and the hands be shoulder width apart. What we're going to do from here is we're going to start to bring some movement into the hips and into the wrists. So you can do this by doing rotations, or you can just do reaches from side to side, whatever your body feels like it wants to do today. So however you feel you want to move, to start to get some movement into the wrists, the hands and the rib cage. Okay, and bring it back into a tabletop position. From there we're going to go into a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So what I want you to do is I want you to breathe out and drop your head down, arching the back. Bring the head between the hands, tuck the tailbone underneath. And then as we breathe out, as we breathe in, looking up towards the ceiling, arching the back, letting the stomach drop. And again, so let the head drop between the hands, tuck the pelvis under. Let the stomach drop, lifting up the head. Few more rounds like this. And bring yourself back to a neutral spine. From here we're going to lift up into what we call downward facing dog. So tuck the toes underneath, let the hands be shoulder width, and we're going to stretch out the legs, lifting from the hips, looking through the legs. Heels are heading towards the floor, hips are heading up towards the ceiling. We're trying to push the shoulders away from the ears. Now if you want to, because it's the first time we've been in down dog, we can start to pedal out the legs to get our body used to being in this position. Or we can just stay still in a downward dog position. Now we're going to work through 3 vinyasas, and they're going to increase in difficulty as we go along. So you can choose throughout the class which one you want to use as we work through the class. The first option, we're going to bring our weight forward into a plank position. So we're going in a straight line. Now if this is too much, you can drop to the knees straight away. From here, we are going to bring ourselves down. So it's our chest hits the floor. We're going to release off the feet and we're going to bring ourselves up into what we call a cobra. So the shoulders become away from the ears and it's just a slight lift. Okay, release ourselves back down, and then we need to get back into our downward facing dog. So we can do that by either coming up onto our knees first, tucking the toes and then straightening out the legs. Or you can come straight back up from a plank position. Okay, option number 2, bringing our weight forwards into a plank position. From here, we're going to bring ourselves down, all the way down, release off, release the feet, bring ourselves up into a cobra position. Again, take the option that's best for you, so you can come back onto your knees before going to down dog, or tucking your toes under, lifting up, back up into downward facing dog. Option number 3, bring the weight forwards into a plank position, bring ourselves down, hover a couple of inches off the ground, and then we're going to bring our weight forward, untucking the, rolling over the toes into what we call an up dog. So our thighs are off the mat, shoulders away from the ears, and then when we're ready, rolling back over the feet into a downward facing dog, and hold it there to get our breath back if we're out of breath. This is our holding position, so at any time during the class, if you want to come back to downward facing dog, then that's an option for you to get your breath back, or alternatively, anytime you can come and bring yourself back into a child's pose. Okay, we're going to start a series of lunges. So we're going to go from our downward facing dog position, and we're going to lift off with the right leg, okay, up into the air. Then we're going to bend this right leg, letting the hips open out towards the side. Bring the knee back in line and the hips back in line, and then look forward between your hands and bring this right foot forward between the hands. Now, if it doesn't quite get there, you can help it to get there. Give it a helping hand, okay? From there, we're going to let this left leg drop, untuck the toe, and we're going to start what we call our lizard sequence. So from here, we're going to swap our right hand over with our right leg. So our right leg is on the outside of our right hand, and then we're going to try and bring our weight forward so we're feeling a nice stretch in the hip flexors. Now, from here, we can either stay on our hands, or we can take a block and we can put it under our elbows to help us in this position, or we can drop down onto our elbows in this position to make it a little bit more intense. Or if you want to make it even more intense, tuck the left toe under at the back and lift off with the left toe. So this is the more intense position. Okay, from here, dropping that left knee if you've had it there before, bringing yourself back up onto the hands if that was an option that you took. We're going to swap the right hand with the right leg again, and this time we're going to keep the left hand on the floor, and we're going to bring our right hand round and back into a twist, looking over our right shoulder. Now, if this is enough for you, you can stay here. Alternatively, you can let this right hip drop out to the side. You can give it a helping hand if you want to. Alternatively, option number 3 is you can bring the left foot off the floor and hold on to that left toe, really pressing the hips forwards as we go. Okay, when you're ready to release that hand, if you've had it there, bring the arm back round to the front, bring the knee back in, bring the hand so it's outside the right leg, and then when you're ready to, we're going to go into a plank. So bringing that right leg back and into a vinyasa if you want to. So weight comes down, up into the upward facing dog if that's your choice, down, back into the downward facing dog.